So, today's topic is inequalities. Let's look at some problems as part of our GMAT quantitative reasoning preparation for inequalities. So, the first question here says, if 3m less than 48 and 2m is greater than 24, then m could equal which of the following? Okay. So, they are saying that 3m is less than 48 and 2m is greater than 24. So, here dividing both sides by 3, we will get m is less than 48 by 3 is 3 1s are 3 6 are, that is 16, and m dividing both sides of this inequality by 2, you will be left by 24 by 2, that is 12. So, m is greater than 12, but it is less than 16. Out of the options that were given, we have only option C, that is 14, that matches this requirement. You may say that we can also select 16, but there is, look at the carefully at the inequality sign, it says less than, doesn't say less than equal to. That is why 16 is not a valid answer. 14 is the only answer that is in this range. Let us look at the next question. If y is less than 0 and 4x is greater than y, which of the following could be equal to x divided by y? So, they are telling us that y is less than 0, that is y is a negative number and 4x is greater than y. So, and they are asking us what is x by, what value can x by y take from the given 5 options. Okay. So, we need x by y, so we can directly divide this inequality by y. But we need to remember one important properties of inequality is that when you divide by a negative number or multiply by a negative number on both sides of inequality, the inequality sign reverses. Here it is greater than, when you divide both sides by y, that is 4x by y, and if you want to divide this y by y, when you are dividing both sides, we are given that y is less than 0. Here the inequality sign reverses itself. Here it was greater than, it becomes less than. So, 4x by y is less than y by y is nothing but 1. So, 4x divided by y is less than 1. And dividing both sides by 4, 4 is a positive number. So, here the inequality sign remains as it is. So, it is less than 1 by 4, x by y is less than 1 by 4. Out of the options given, again we do not have a equality, we do not have less than equal to. So, 1 by 4 can't be a valid answer. 0 is the only option that satisfies our inequality here. X by y is less than 1 by 4. So, answer is option A. Let us look at the next question. So, this question says 2x minus 4 is less than 12 and greater than 6, which of the following could be the value of x? Okay. We can separately look at this inequality as two inequalities, that is 2x minus 4 is greater than 6 and 2x minus 4 is less than 12. Here both sides, when you are adding plus 4, you will be left with 10, that is nothing but taking 4 to the other side. 10 is less than 2x, and here 2x is less than 12 plus 4, that is 16. Divide both sides by 2, that is a positive number, inequality sign remains as it is. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Dividing both sides by 2 in this way, in this inequality will give x is less than 16 by 2, that is 8. So, what x is less than 8, but it is greater than 5. Now, out of these options, which answer satisfies the inequality? We have only one, that is 7. Again, there is no equality sign, these signs, this is only less than, that is why neither can x be 8, neither can x be 5. 7 is the only option that satisfies the inequality. Let us look at the next question. If x plus y plus z is equal to 0 and z is equal to 8, which of the following must be true? Okay, so we need to eliminate z over here. We have x plus y plus z is equals to 0 and z is given as 8. So, you will be left with x plus y plus 8 is equals to 0. So, x plus y is equal to, taking 8 to the other side, becomes minus 8. X plus y is nothing, is equal to minus 8. Let us look at the options here. X is less than 0. it can be less than 0, it cannot be less than 0, we cannot definitely say it. Or y is less than 0, again it can be negative or it can be positive. If we say x is minus 9 and y is plus 1, then also this satisfies the equation. But if you say that x is minus 7 and y is minus 1, it is minus 8, so that also satisfies the equation. So we cannot definitely say whether y will be greater than 0 or less than 0. Same applies with x. We cannot definitely say if it's positive or negative, but we can definitely say that x plus y is less than 0 because x plus y is minus 8. So it is obviously less than 0. Our answer is option E. Let's look at the next question. If 2 into x minus 1 whole to the power of 3 plus 3 is less than 19, then the value of x must be, okay, we are telling us 2 into x minus 1 whole raised to 3 plus 3 is less than equal to 19, then what is the value of x? So subtracting 3 on both sides, we will be left with 2 into x minus 1 whole cube is less than equal to 19 minus 3 is nothing but 16. Now divide both sides by 2, you will be left with x minus 1 whole cube is less than or equal to 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 is nothing but 2 raised to 3. X minus 1 whole cube is less than or equal to 2 cube. So that means that x minus 1 is less than equal to 2, and x, adding 1 on both sides, x is, taking this minus 1 to this side, x is less than equal to 2 plus 1, that is 3. X is less than equal to 3. So our answer is x is less than or equal to 3, that is option B. Let's look at the next question. Given that AB is less than 0 and A is greater than B, which of the following must be true? Okay, so here what are they giving us? They are telling us that AB is less than 0. Product of two numbers will be negative, that is less than 0, only when one of the numbers is positive and one of the numbers is negative. We don't know whether it is A or B, but one should be positive, one should be negative. And here now they are saying A is greater than B. So obviously the positive number will be greater than the negative number by default. So now we can clearly say that B is negative and A is positive. Now they are asking which of the following is true. A is greater than 0, A is positive, yes, that is correct. B is greater than 0, no, B is not positive, B is negative, it is less than 0. Then they are saying 1 by A is greater than 1 by B, that is also correct. Let's look at why. When you say 1 by A, it's a positive, A is positive, so the fraction also is positive. And when you look at 1 by B, B is negative, so the fraction also becomes a negative fraction. So positive is always greater than negative. Again 1 by A is greater than 1 by B. So that is option C, which tells us that only statement 1 and 3 are correct. Let's look at the next question. If n, x and y are three positive integers such that n is equals to x plus y and 2 is less than x less than 10 and 14 is less than y less than 23, if n is greater than 25, then find the number of distinct values of integer n. Okay. So what is our question telling us? They are saying that n, x and y all three are positive integers, and also it is saying that n is equals to x plus y. So, and we need to find out what distinct values can n take. We know that x and y are integers, and when you say that x is less than 10 greater than 2 and y is less than 23 greater than 14, we know that minimum value of x will be 3 and y will be 15 because they are positive integers, they cannot be any fractions. So the minimum values that it will take is 3 and 15. Now that is why x plus y will be minimum when both x and y are minimum. The minimum value it can take is 15 plus 3, that is 18. And let us look at the maximum values. X can take value up till 9 because it is less than 10, not less than equal to. Y can take maximum value up to 22, because again here it is less than 23, not less than equal to. So, the maximum value that x plus y can take is 9 plus 22, the maximum, adding the individual maximum values of x and y, we have here it is 31. So, now they are asking us the number of distinct values of integer n. So, n is nothing but x plus y. So, these values are also applicable to n, that n is between anywhere between 18 and 31. Since it can take these values, that is why we are giving us inequality sign as less than equal to. But there is also an extra piece of information, you should be careful here, that that's saying that n is greater than 25. So, let us say that n is greater than 25, but less than equal to 31. So, what are all the integer values that we are left with? 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So, that is a total of 6 numbers, distinct values that integer n can take, that is answer is option C. Let us look at the next question. Which of the following inequalities is equivalent to -2 less than x less than 4? We have 4 options here. So, this is what we are looking for, -2 less than x less than 4. Now, let us look at the options for this question. Option A is mod x minus 2 is less than 4. When mod x minus modulus of anything is nothing but its distance from origin. You can take the distance should be between 4 and -4. That is when the inequality will satisfy that the distance is less than 4. If you remove the mod, where the inequality converts into mod x minus 2 is less than 4 and is greater than -4. Adding 2 on all 3 sides, adding 2 on all sides of the inequality, the signs remain the same. So, you have -2 less than x less than 6, and this is not equivalent to this equation. Now, let us look at option B. If mod x minus 1 is less than 3, that means that x minus 1 should be between 3 and -3, that is, it is less than 3, but it is greater than -3. Adding 1 on all sides will keep the inequality sign the same. So, we have -3 plus 1 is -2 is less than x minus 1 plus 1 will be x is less than 3 plus 1 is 4. Yes, this is the exact answer that we are looking for, but just for the sake of explanation, I will look at the other options as well, so that there is no overlap. X plus 1, mod of x plus 1 is less than 3, that means that x plus 1 is between 3 and -3. Subtracting 1 on all 3 sides, the inequality remains the same. When you add or subtract by either a positive or a negative quantity, the inequality sign remains the same. Only when you multiply or divide, the inequality changes or remains depending upon whether the number that you are dividing or multiplying with is a positive number or a negative number. So, here we are just adding, so we do not need to bother about changing the inequality sign. -3 minus 1 is -4, which is less than x plus 1 minus 1 is x, and it is less than x 3 minus 1 is 2. This is not equivalent to the given inequality. Let us look at option D. Mod of x plus 2 is less than 4, that means that x plus 2 is less than 4 is greater than -4. Subtracting 2 on all sides, you have -6 is less than x is less than 4 minus 2 is 2. This is again not equivalent to our inequality. So, the answer is option B. We saw the concept of modulus as well in this question. I hope you remember this, that when mod of x minus 2, if say mod of x minus 2 is less than 4, then x minus 2 will be between 4 and will be between 4 and -4. Let us look at the next question. If mod of x minus 2 into x plus 5 is less than 0, then which of the following must be true? So, they are telling us that mod of x minus 2 into x plus 5 is less than 0. That is, the product is negative. That means that one should be positive, one of these expressions should be positive and the other should be negative. Let's check. When we say that this is negative, this has to be positive in order the product to be less than 0, that is a negative value. So, for mod x minus 2 is less than 0, for it to be negative, for it to be less than 0, you will have to have mod x is less than 2, that is x is between 2 and minus 2. At the same time, while this is negative, this should be positive, that is x plus 5 should be greater than 0, that means x is greater than minus 5. You need to find the x that satisfies both of these conditions. So, x is greater than minus 2 will automatically mean that x is greater than minus 5. This is our range between 2 and minus 2 is our range when mod of x minus 2 is negative and x plus 5 is positive. Now, let us look at when this is positive, x mod of x minus 2, and this is negative, that is x plus 5. For that to happen, you have mod x minus 2 is greater than 0. So, for mod x to be greater than 2, x should be greater than 2 or x should be less than minus 2. So, here now we are looking at greater than, that is mod x being greater than some value. You will, when you are removing the mod, you will have to say that it is greater than the value and the negative value, negative image of that value as well. Now, along with this, x plus 5 should be negative, that means that should be less than 0, that means that x should be less than minus 5. So, looking at these two ranges, it will be satisfied only when x is less than minus 5. That is the overlap of both these conditions. Okay. So, which of the following must be true? So, looking at the answer options here, in both these conditions should be satisfied. Is x is greater than 2, can x be greater than 2? No, it cannot. X is less than 2, then definitely it is less than 2, it is less than 2 here as well and in this option as well. X is between minus 2 and 2, yes, but it can also be less than minus 5, that is not covered in this option. And x is less than 2 but greater than minus 5, no, because x should be less than minus 5 in this option also does not hold true. And x is less than minus 5, definitely it is less than minus 5, but it is also less than 2. It can also be when it is between 2 and minus 2. So, this does not satisfy the condition at all times. So, x is less than 2 is something that must be true. Look at the wordings here, it is saying that it must be true. So, that is why we choose option B. Let us look at the next question. If x and y are negative and x to the power of 4 minus y to the power of 4 is less than 0, which of the following must be true? Okay. X to the power of 4 minus y to the power of 4 is less than 0. So, taking y to the power of 4 that side, you have x to the power of 4 is less than y to the power of 4. So, this is nothing but, this means that mod of x is less than mod of y. The positive integers, they can be positive or negative, but the modulus will obviously obey the inequality. If x to the power of 4 is less than y to the power of 4, then mod of x will be less than mod of y. They are asking us which of the following must be true, and they also told us x and y are both less than 0, that is they are both negative. So, when you apply that to modulus, mod x is nothing but minus x and mod y is nothing but minus y, because it is negative, we are converting it into a positive value. Now, taking x this side and y this side, we will get y is less than x. So, first option is out, you can clearly see that y is less than x is not less than y. Looking at the second option, it is saying that xy is less than y square. Let us divide both sides by y, but now let us see what we are doing. When we are dividing both sides by a negative number, the sign reverses itself. So, this becomes x is greater than y. which is true according to our given information. We got that x is greater than y. So, this is true, that means that this must be true. Now, let us look at the third option. Third option says that x plus y whole square is less than x minus y whole square. Let us expand both sides. X square plus 2xy plus y square is less than x square minus 2xy plus y square. Subtracting both sides by x square plus y square, you are left with 2xy is less than minus 2xy. Taking this to one side, you will get 4xy is less than 0. That means xy is less than 0, which is also given to us that x and y are both, here I just divided it by 4 on both sides. So, this inequality sign remains as it is, and we are given that x and y are both negative. So, when you multiply two negative values, that is x and y, you land up with a positive value. So, x into y cannot be negative. So, this is also not true. Hence, our third statement is also not true. So, 2 only, that is option B. Those were some questions on inequalities. Hope they were clear. Thank you for watching.